All right, boys, we're back.
We're back.
We're back. We're back after a short 2-week furlough period, in which
we've been
we were
received.
not paid. We were paid 80% of the money we made off of this, which is
What's 80%
absolutely
zero?
nothing. Yeah, but we're back. We're back, and we've got a guest.
Yay.
His name is Alessandro. He is a Sheffield United supporter. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Right, fellas, it's a privilege to be guest numero uno.
Yeah, man, happy to have you.
Yeah, we hope to have a lot more people on, and we'll obviously have Alex back on at some point as well. But we just, as Sam said, we've had a brief hiatus from the podcast, but we're back with a Bosh, a weekly Bosh, and I think should we just sort of jump right into it?
I think we should. You guys know how this goes from now, unless this blows up overnight, and I've got to explain very briefly to the people who are coming in from wherever. We're going to review last weekend's games. I know we've been away, but we're just going to focus on the games just gone, because going back the last couple of weekends might be a bit of an ag, and it will make things complicated. And to be honest, we don't need to go into that.
Can I quickly say something about the West Ham Tottenham result? Can I not say
Yes,
anything?
Jamie, to be honest, we need to give Jamie a bit of airtime to talk about Manuel Lanzini's goal. So do you just want
That's all I wanted to say. Manuel Lanzini.
Do you just want to...
Legend of the game, Swaztekers. I'm here for it. You Argentinian, lovely man.
The bloody Barclays.
Oh my god, that is peak Barclays. I was working at the time. I was jumping up and down. It was embarrassing. I'm in a West Ham pub as well, so it was limbs.
What we're going to do is we're going to review the games just gone, and then we'll move on to power rankings, and then we'll have a look at this weekend's games, including a game between Chelsea and Sheffield United. So there could be a bit of a conversation later on about that.
Definitely.
Should we just bloody crack on with it?
Friday night's game, Wolves 2, Crystal Palace 0. Did anyone watch this?
No, I was at work.
Yeah, I was as well. Alex?
I got the highlights.
You saw the highlights.
I kind of wish I did see the game.
Yeah. I guess it's a goal for Rayan Al-Nouri, who, if you're a football manager, Don, you know this kid's good. And Daniel Podence keeping up his good form at the start of the season as well. I think just Crystal Palace has been such a weird team so far this season. But Wolves showing their quality, and I just think it's a pretty standard result, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Wolves have been up and down as well. I mean, Wolves have results against West Ham. They lost, what was it, 4-0 to West Ham?
It was 4.
So Wolves' form has been up and down, and I think the both of them will probably end up finish mid-table. It's one of them games you don't really take any notice of, because neither of them are going to get relegated. Neither of them are going to challenge the top 6, top 8, so you just kind of ignore it.
Yeah. Next one.
Right, moving on.
What's this one? Sheffield 0, Manchester City 1. Do you want to take point on this one, Alex?
I hand the floor to our resident Yorkshire boy, who's actually from Guildford.
All right. Well, there was no need for the dig. Look, it's a tough one to take. Kyle Walker, obviously a graduate of the academy, and is arguably one of the better right backs in the league. And
Great
it was a
goal
good
as
goal.
well. Yeah.
Good
Really
goal.
good goal.
I mean, the saltiness in me says Dean Henderson saves that, and Sheffield get a point.
No faith in Ramsdale already?
But Ramsdale hasn't had enough time to bleed into the team and build that relation with the defence that Bino had in the Championship.
Right.
So it's too early to...
But then we also look at, stats on everything, obviously, but you see 35% possession, which, you're going to have against City, but 3 shots, 1 on target in 90 minutes. Is that sort of a sign? Because this, last season Sheffield were being competitive in these sorts of games. Is this sort of a sign of things to come for Sheffield in terms of what's going to happen with their season? Because they've had a terrible start. What do you think's what do you think's wrong? Because me and Sam have been slagging Sheffield off plenty in the in previous Boshes for not scoring any goals and not even posing a threat. So what do you see? How do you see this playing out for the rest of the season?
No, it's tough to take. Obviously, 1 point from 7 games is not a good start, and football is, at the end of the day, a results business, and the results aren't going their way. To write them off when you're only 18% of the season in is ludicrous.
Yeah, of
But
course.
the worst thing, the worst thing about it is that following last year, the precedent they set with the way they are able to play football, they've made such a rod for their own back that now that they're not hitting that level, it's like everyone's labeling it just as second season syndrome, and it's not the case, because we had a poor 6 minutes against Wolves, and aside from that 6 minutes, I don't think we were bad. We had a few dodgy decisions by VAR against us in the Villa game, and Ademola Lookman's goal in the Fulham one. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was a rocket. He made something out of nothing.
Yeah, but isn't Fulham the sort of games that you've got to be winning if you want to sort of kick on this season?
No,
that's the thing, and I not to play devil's advocate to this, because I don't think anyone's writing Sheffield United off at this point. At all. No one's saying that you're having a bad year or that you're going to get relegated. I think people are saying that the alarm bells are well and truly ringing when you've had 7 games now. You've only scored 3 goals. I mean, your defence is you've got a pretty solid, for the bottom half of the table, your defensive record's pretty good.
Look,
but offensively, it's the joint worst in the league, alongside Burnley, who are a place below you. So you've got to start worrying about the fact that your marquee signing of the summer, attack-wise, is Ryan Brewster, who is completely unproven at the top level. You were in for Ollie Watkins and got outbid by, I don't want to say a bigger club, but you got outbid by Aston Villa, who've taken him on, and he's doing really good things there. I don't think anyone's writing Sheffield United off, but I don't think anyone's saying anything positive about them, and rightly so, because it's not a great start to the season for them at all. And something drastic needs to happen quickly to change that, because before you know it, you'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
But look, football is a confidence game. So when results aren't going your way, even if you're doing well, it's hard to build up that momentum, hard to build up confidence. Now, I'm not going to make any excuses for it, because at the end of the day, these are professional athletes. They should go into every game with the head screwed on, thinking if we are at 90%, 100%, we can get someone away from this. Now, the big issue is that it is a different team. There's obviously Ramsdale. Jack O'Connell being out for the season is a massive blow for us. Absolutely massive blow, because he's so influential. He's a driving factor, not only in how solid the defence is, but how creative we are moving forward. Now, in those games that we had him last year, in that overlapping centre-back system, his output was quite good. Now, it's a major blow to lose him for the year. Ampadu, he's looked good in spells. Once the ball gets rolling, once they build up a little bit of confidence, things will get better quick.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that. You'll see it. It's just at the moment they've got to find something to build that confidence. And
a result against Chelsea at the weekend. Moving on to Chelsea, because they were the next game of the weekend. Completely,
wasn't it, really?
different end of the spectrum to what we've just talked about. Chelsea, that was our 4th game in a row without conceding a goal. Last night was our 5th. The last time that happened was 2010. So 10 years ago, back in the team, we had Ashley Cole and John Terry and Petr Cech, and a really, really solid back line. And it's starting to look again like we're very, very good. The last Chelsea keeper to keep 5 clean sheets in a row, Petr Cech. It's the first time in a few years that I've looked at Chelsea and thought that we look like a properly properly good side. And
No, I really do rate Mendy as well. I think he's been a fantastic signing.
No, he's fantastic, and we've got Chelsea's new signings in the power rankings later, so I'll talk about them individually. A bit later on. But overall, it was a performance of a team that's starting to look like real contenders for top four, and potentially the title. I don't want to speak out of turn. We're 4 points behind Liverpool, but anything can happen. And,
as Alex said, it's sort of 18% through the season, so let's not count any chickens before they've hatched. No. But yeah, Burnley looking bad as well, so we'll see what goes on.
We'll see what happens.
It's the confidence a goalkeeper brings. Look at the difference Mendy has made to your team.
It's the same.
Our defence look a lot more confident.
Liverpool as well,
Yeah, our defence look a lot more confident playing with him in front of them.
Yeah.
Playing with him behind them, they look a lot more comfortable. Anyway, I don't want to rattle on about Chelsea for too long, so we'll move on to...
I won't rattle on about this either.
Wished him!
Yeah, 2-1 loss to Liverpool. I actually found it quite difficult to take this result because I don't think it was warranted. There is an argument, obviously, Liverpool dominated the game because, they're supposed to. They're the champions. A really good start from us. Pablo Fornals with a nice finish 10 minutes in, but we'll talk about this at some point. But the Salah, as far as I'm concerned, it's a dive. It might be a penalty, but it's still a dive. And then a really nice goal from Jota to finish off 5 minutes before time, and it's frustrating because I think we deserved a point out of it, but especially as we've been on good form as well. But that's how football goes sometimes when you come up against people with a team with that quality. I feel like that was the undoing of West Ham. But yeah, any comments on
that? I think Liverpool are always going to be a tough team to beat away.
Yeah,
that's probably the first thing you have to accept when you're going in there is that they're going to be a tough team. It's been proven over the last couple of seasons that when Mo Salah goes down in the area, the likelihood is you're going to be punished for it because he knows how to buy a foul, as does any good Premier League winger.
I was very upset about it.
Of course, you're upset about it, but if it's West Ham in their area, your mood's completely different. It's the rub of the green really, and it's just the way it goes that. Liverpool last season benefited 12 points off VAR being involved, whether that was because they should have had penalties or whether that was because the theatrics were more widespread and you could look at them and say, there's probably a little bit of contact there, so we'll give it. But whatever happens...
Well, for me, it was the planting of the foot and then the throwing back of the head, which did it for me. Well, but he's done that. He's done it time and time again, and he will continue to do it because it gets results and,
That's the thing. And whatever anyone wants to say about Liverpool with Van Dijk and Fabinho, Matip and all these injuries that they've got, they're top of the league and they're still looking good.
Yeah.
Diogo Jota is
looking like a
really good signing. Yeah. Really good signing. And a really good addition to their team, especially when Firmino is starting to wane as a player, maybe.
Misfiring.
Form wise, definitely.
It's a tough one. I don't think Firmino might not have the goal scoring he might not have the goal scoring record, but what he offers to that team as a false nine, as a trequartista, the input he offers to the wide players to allow Mane, to allow Salah to cut in and have impact. His work ethic is something that goes under the radar. Now, I'm not an enormous fan of Firmino because the one goal he did score was against Sheffield, and I don't think we deserve to lose that game either. But
no, definitely. But I will say about Firmino is, as you say, Alex, he does so much more for the team than what you realise, and I think that's the same with a lot of Liverpool players because stats aren't everything at the end of the day. But 2-1. Yeah, here it is. Right, on the Sunday, we move on to Aston Villa versus Southampton, a 7-goal thriller with a couple of swazzy free kicks from JWP.
It was a bit crazy, this game. Yeah. It was a bit mental. I've got to be informed you, me and Alex were rather hungover when this result was being played out. We were sat in a lovely cafe in Windsor eating some breakfast.
Wasn't that nice?
As the goals were going in. It was lovely, actually. We both had a fire up. It was really nice. But No, mental. I didn't see the goals myself. I've seen the highlights. Aston Villa started horrendously, continued to play horrendously, and then with about 20 minutes left, decided to become brilliant.
Yeah.
A strange way of playing the game, risky, and it hasn't paid off this time.
No.
But James Ward-Prowse was brilliant. Danny Ings again, causing trouble. Shay Adams causing trouble. I think Southampton look like a really good side this year.
Yeah,
and,
I think destined for a top half finish at least.
Yes, I think the gap between the teams that are definitely staying up and the teams that are in trouble is getting bigger and bigger.
It is.
And the group of teams that are definitely in trouble is getting smaller and smaller towards kind of 4 or 5 teams that I could say off the top of my head that are definitely going to be down there at the end of the year, and the teams that I'm confident won't be. And I think that's it's a worrying thing for the teams that are down there, and it's it's good. It's good if you're out of it. So Southampton, I think, will be all right. Aston Villa will be fine because they look decent enough to stay up, and by that second half performance, or the second half of the second half, they looked good enough to stay up. So I think they'll be all right. But remains to be seen.
Right, next one we've got up Newcastle Everton. Big for Newcastle, not good for Everton at all.
Alex, you want to take point on this one because I know you've got strong feelings towards Newcastle for whatever reason.
I really like Carlo Ancelotti, and it's not just because he's Italian. I think Everton under Ancelotti have played attractive football. The signings have been
definitely
elite.
Yeah, but they've been Bruce Balled.
Yeah, they've been Brexited.
They've been Callum Wilsoned, and you can't be having that if you want to finish in the top 6.
That's the thing. Their form since that Liverpool game hasn't been great, and obviously now it's looking like flattery is deceiving from those early games. But I don't know where to start. Newcastle are the worst team to watch in the Premier League. Bruce Ball is. I'd rather stand at a wall that I've just painted and watch it dry. That would be more entertaining.
I think the mantra with... Go on.
It's annoying now that they've got a goal scorer, because before signing Wilson, I would have tipped them to go down because they haven't got someone that can deliver that output to get them points here or there.
Yeah.
I just think they're going to... Not comfortably. I just think they're gonna somehow.
They're gonna survive. They're gonna
stay up.
Newcastle are good enough to stay up, I think, unless they have a massive capitulation.
I think Newcastle will always be good enough to stay up because it's just I think that club is at this point, and I'm going to get slewed for saying this, but I think that club is big enough to stay up now. Is too big to go back down into the Championship.
Yeah, I think they have the players to back it up as well. I
definitely.
think so at least. Alex Maximan is one of the finest wingers in the league, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I genuinely think if you take him out that team, if he's out that team, they've got no creativity, and then Callum Wilson is just Andy Carroll in disguise. But it's because he's got that creativity coming from.
Well, there is that.
Well, you can sit there and say, oh, if you take him out, but he's in the team.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line.
They also have Ryan Fraser.
Alex, I know you're desperately looking for something to go at, but Newcastle have got a really good result. It's a really good team at the weekend, and they're proving themselves to be difficult opposition, which is what they're trying to be. Newcastle are not under the illusion that they are a really good ball-playing side. Newcastle know that they are technically nowhere near as accomplished as that Everton team, but they know that they can play their football and get a really good result against them, and that is the strength that Newcastle have.
But this is the thing. This is what I'd like. If Sheffield United could play the football they could and get points brilliant. But look, there's this not romanticism with Newcastle. It's every time they look like they're going to be sold and go on the up, fans start to build their hope, and then they're disappointed, and then being brought down to reality so quick clicks every player's mind into gear that they've got to do something for the fans because they've been disappointed. And they've gone about it in the right way in the early game weeks by getting the results where you wouldn't think they'd get results, and looking at times, arguably, like they're going to guarantee themselves a top half finish.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But in an ideal world, they'd fall apart, they'd get relegated, and I'd never have to talk about them ever again.
Okay, right. And a nice unbiased view on Newcastle Football Club there from our resident guest today. We'll move on to Manchester United against Arsenal.
This is
boring.
This was boring.
It was really boring. This is a game we're going to touch on later. We're going to talk about Man United, but again, I don't know how many times Man United have been in our negative this season.
Yeah.
I think if you had to name at this point the Premier League manager closest to the door, I think
Bilic.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Bilic or Solskjaer are both very much in the conversation.
Yeah.
There's news stories today that Manchester United are approaching Pochettino, which I think would be a really good move for them. Personally, I think Solskjaer's in over his head with this. He did well at Mould in wherever. But I don't want to overstep, and I don't want to disrespect Mould. But coming to manage Manchester United at Old Trafford in an 80,000 seater stadium, be it empty, is still a massive step up.
Yeah,
and
the
I think it's showing.
persistence of playing Scott McTominay constantly baffles me. But
not playing Donny van der Beek, who every time he comes on looks absolutely brilliant.
When do you say to Solskjaer, put him in your system? It doesn't matter where he goes, just you put him there.
This is the thing. I don't think. Look, you look at Lampard, and arguably you look at Arteta. They've got some tactical know-how about them. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been thrown in at the deep end, has no idea what he's doing, and I don't think Van der Beek is a player he wanted. That's why he doesn't start him.
Yeah.
I don't get it though. It baffles me. He's so good when I've seen him, but
the European form papers over the big cracks. Have you ever seen that "This Is the End" movie where he puts a little plaster over the earth? That's
the thing. That's the thing. And even you can talk about the European form, but last night they lost to Istanbul with 2 goals that were defensively catastrophic. I mean, Rio Ferdinand said you wouldn't catch defending that bad on Hackney Marshes in the Sunday League.
The 35-year-old Demba Ba scoring a 1-on-1.
And Demba Ba is not fast anymore. But it's catastrophic, and United need a change as soon as humanly possible to reverse their fortunes, because they've had some really good results. Rashford's bringing a lot of really good publicity to the club, and for good reason. He's using his standing, and he's using his placement to better the country, and to say some things that normally footballers wouldn't say. But I think that is covering up at the moment a real issue at that club, and that's a lack of consistency. And when they're not on it, they're really not on it, and they're losing games because of it.
Yeah.
Paul Pogba is a whole nother conversation that we'll have maybe today if I can restrain myself enough to have it. But no, I think
we should move on. We got to get through these a bit quicker.
We got to crack on.
Spurs 2, Brighton 1.
Dull.
Harry Kane, Gareth Bale scoring back again. So well done.
Okay. Sodom. It's just the result you'd expect. Tariq Lamptey scored, so that's a positive.
You love Tariq Lamptey.
But apart from that, it's just a bit dull, isn't it, watching them? Anyway, moving on.
Monday night, we've got Fulham with their first win, their first 3 points of the season. I think it's a good step for Fulham. Well done.
This was a game that this was a 6-pointer.
Oh yeah.
These were the 2 teams that everyone was like, they're f***ing hopeless.
Yeah.
It was like the two boys that have come up from the Championship, neither of which looked remotely prepared for the level.
Yeah.
And Fulham have come out in the battle of the
donkeys,
shitters.
Yeah. No, the shitters, yeah. And last game of the weekend, Leicester 4, Leeds 1. Alex, you got anything to say about this one?
I genuinely thought it's a tactical masterclass from Brendan Rodgers. I think he's deserved his place, and I think all of those people at Leicester calling for him to get sacked when they dropped out the top 4 should really rethink the manager they've got.
Yeah,
because he's quality.
Yeah, I think Vardy's just fantastic. I love Jamie Vardy. I think he's one of my favourite players in the league. Harvey Barnes on the score sheet and Yuri Tielemans as well. Just an overall really good performance from them. I watched the first half, but yeah, it's a bit suicidal from Leeds, I think, and that's where they might get caught out at some points this year. You know, they're pushing the envelope for pressing football, I think, sometimes, and it works. You know, against Liverpool, it nearly worked, and I think against a couple of teams it's worked nicely. You know, they won 3-0 against Villa, but obviously I think Patrick Bamford's another one. You know, blows very hot and cold. Missed an absolute sitter in the first half, and you know, it came back to haunt them, and I just think our Leeds. Are they going to finish top half? Maybe, we'll see. It's early on in the season still.
They're another one of them, aren't they? Where you're like, well, they're not going to challenge top 8, but they won't go down either. They're just in that mid ground, and that's great for Leeds because they've just come up. But
it's a good foundation.
No one's worried about Leeds anymore. No one's looking at Leeds and going, oh, they could go on a European holiday this year, and you know all of that. No one's stressed about that anymore because there's teams that are better than them, and this result proves it. Anyway. We will move on to Le Power Rankings, so I can have a big old. We'll talk about Ward-Prowse first, and then I'm going to have a big old cheer about how good we've been. Anyway, James Ward-Prowse scored a couple of free kicks.
Beckham's second coming.
Is the boy wonder. Yeah. Bend it like Prowse.
Bend it like Prowse, yeah.
Doesn't work as well.
He's fantastic. Great goals, and he offers that. He offers that dead ball specialty, which you know a lot of teams rely on, and the only thing that I will say is, you know, Southampton did look pretty poor towards the back end of the game, but I just think they got the goals early and they did really well, and I think it was a good overall team performance from Southampton. But yeah, 2 pieces of absolute brilliance from James Ward-Prowse to put them past the villains. Nope, drop my phone. Lovely.
That the keeper for Villa, Martinez, I think he's exceptional, but the Ward-Prowse goals, no keeper's stopping. No keeper. They're just. It doesn't take anything away from Martinez as a keeper. I just think that Ward-Prowse had one of those games that.
Had his shooting boots on, certainly.
Yeah, bit of trivia. Who knows the last Premier League player to score 2 free kicks in a game? Anyone?
I don't know. Is it Payet? Or is it a Chelsea player? And this is why you probably...
No, it was Christian Eriksen for Tottenham back in 2015 against Swansea. Scored 2 free kicks a game. James Ward-Prowse is the 9th player to score in the Premier League 2 free kicks in a game.
Oh, very nice.
And, you know, entering into an illustrious crew. I think David Beckham's done it. Yeah. So, you know...
Factoids, everybody.
He's not quite at the level of player as David Beckham was overall, but potentially as good a free kick taker.
Yeah.
Next is Chelsea's new signings.
Go on then.
I have waited to talk about this because at the worry of tempting fate and watching our £250 million summer spending spree come crashing down in front of me. Every single one of these players now who we brought in have got merit and things that you can look at in performances and say, right, you're all brilliant, or you're all good enough to merit your transfer fees. Potentially with the exception of Havertz, who I think will become that player because he's showing it in games, but he's not quite hit the stride yet. Chelsea's top scorer this season, Werner, in all competitions, 7 goals now.
Yeah, had a bit of a slow start in the Prem, didn't he? I was a bit worried.
He did.
I thought I was going to have to take him out of my fantasy team, but he came good.
He does come good.
So, and he's done well in Europe, as you say. Oh, shit. I'm a bit back. But yeah, Ziyech looks gravy as well.
Ziyech looks gravy. Two man of the matches in 3 games for Hakim Ziyech. Got one in midweek last week against Krasnodar. Pitched in with a goal and assist, and pitched in with the goal and assist at the weekend. Looks brilliant. we don't need to talk about the impact that Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva, and Edouard Mendy have had on our back line. You just have to look at the fact that
It's fresh,
we
isn't it?
haven't
It's
conceded
a whole new back line, and it's making Chelsea look really good. And these are the sorts of results for Chelsea, the 3-0 against Burnley, that you just have to keep getting every single week. You know, you come up against someone, you can only beat what's put in front of you. And I think Chelsea sometimes stumble there. In terms of that consistently grinding out those results, and they have these sort of draws and then the odd loss to a team they shouldn't be losing to.
Yeah,
I think
definitely. I mean, the start of last season, we were 2-0 up against Sheffield United, lost a 2-goal lead against them. We lost to Bournemouth. It was a really, really entertaining game, but for Chelsea, that's a terrible result. You know, playing against
6 points to West Ham last season.
Yeah.
Was it 6
we lost
points
to Bournemouth
to Sheffield
on
as well last season?
Yeah, they lost 3-0.
We lost 3-0 away at Sheffield. We lost to Bournemouth on New Year's Day. We lost to Palace last year.
Yeah.
You know, we have had an issue. Since we lost players like Terry and Lampard and Cech, we've lacked a real grit in our side that has been there when you need to grind those games out.
Yeah.
I think that's why Frank Lampard was so destined on signing Declan Rice, if I'm honest, because I think he wants to get someone with a bit of grit and a bit, to clench their teeth and go into tackles and really fight for a game.
Yeah, well, that might happen in January. I've seen a lot of stuff saying that they just missed out on him in the summer.
Yeah.
So I think that will happen in January, and whether West Ham go out and try and sign someone in his place or not is something to be seen. But
and I'm sure you'll be hoping about that. But I mean, look,
he's going to go. I've got no illusions, but yeah,
it's great. It's great that Chelsea are suddenly looking well. I don't want to say world class, but
worlds
with
apart
Thiago
from
Silva,
what they were, I think.
Massively, yeah. I think you look at last season, we had a defensive record as Brighton's.
Yeah.
And then suddenly this year, we've gone 5 games without conceding a goal. We look really good and really solid defensively. And going forward, we look a lot more threatening.
Yeah.
So that's all I can really say about it. It's added a real dynamism to our side. And Thiago Silva is just class. I love watching him play. He never looks like he's going to break a sweat, really.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. Look, the spine of the team is what is so influential. So the fact that you've got Mendy and he's hit the ground running, the fact that Thiago Silva is 34 but he plays like he's 24, he's unreal.
Mm.
It's not a long-term signing, obviously, but
but I think we needed. There's a lot of rumours at the moment about Upamecano and
a few
different people.
Obviously, he had a bad game against United last week, but yeah.
Anyway, we're linked with a few people. Declan Rice is another one that we're linked with. And whether we play him at centre back, I think we'd be wasting him. But
I'm going to be really upset if you play him at centre back. I'm going to start shadow boxing.
Look, we got to start. We got to start speeding up. Otherwise, I could sit here for days and talk about how good Thiago Silva is and how good Kai Havertz is and how good everyone is and how we're going to bloody league and we're going to win the cup. We're going to win the Champions League.
Shut up. Right, Brendan Rodgers and Leicester. Alex, you got anything to say about this? You said something before we started recording. If you wanted to about the Rodgers and Leicester.
Leeds is a tough game, and Bielsa has got Leeds playing some really good football.
Yeah.
You knew they were going to win games. You knew they were going to lose games, but it was going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And obviously, Leicester didn't have the best project restart. They dropped out of the top 4. They've missed out on Champions League. But all those Leicester fans saying that Rodgers is a fraud, Rodgers should get sacked, a humble pie has probably never tasted as good because away this year, they're top of the league. Best away form. And absolute masterclass. Even Klopp can do it against Leeds. But the way they counter-pressed and closed the options to spread the ball and put Leeds under real pressure. It was good to watch. They're a great team. I genuinely think Leicester are top 4 this year.
Oh, that's a big call. I think what I will say is they're playing to their strengths. They're playing to that intelligence that Vardy has on a counter.
Yep.
Vardy makes. I think he's the best run maker in the league. In terms of what his movement and the options that he gives his team, I don't think that's out of the realms of possibility to say at all. And I think Rodgers has seen that and he's gone, right, that's something that we need to press into and really get on with. And I think Harvey Barnes really complements him nicely as well as a pacey, good on the ball. And obviously you've got a really nice midfield behind that as well.
Definitely.
I just don't understand why no one else went in for Yuri Telemans. He's got to be one
Leicester are a big team now, you know.
Yeah.
I'd say they're top six. I'd say they're big six now, but you know that's controversial.
Who knows? I mean, we talk about big six. I mean, Arsenal, Tottenham, United, they're all in there. Whether United is still in the conversation about big six, I think they are. I think United is still up there because they've got the talent. But it's whether if they get Pochettino, I reckon United be in there for top four this year.
Right,
Who knows?
Our bad power rankings, then let's get on with that. This is obviously, you know, we don't really talk about Europe a lot, but you know, we wanted to put Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in over the past couple of weeks. Just tactical naivety, is it?
I think it's a combination of a few things. I think that has he suffered from a lack of backing and a lack of recruitment? Yes. You look at their team. I think they needed a centre back. I think they needed a better defensive midfielder. You know, and with the addition of those two things, would they have looked a better team this year? Definitely. But you know, spending £40 million on Donny van der Beek and not playing him, but yet consistently playing Scott McSauce at the base of your midfield.
He's a glorified championship player, by the way.
He is.
That's my popular opinion.
He's got absolutely, from what I can see, absolutely no creditable footballing ability aside from basically getting in the way.
No, he's got nothing about him.
No, Paul Pogba, who is a prancing prima donna of a player, who yet again on Sunday, through no reason other than his own lazy petulance and his inability or just not caring enough to run, gave away another lazy penalty against a team that Man United could have beaten at the weekend.
Yeah.
If Paul Pogba had turned up and been the player that he has the ability, but instead he gives away a lazy penalty, it's lethargic and it looked just...
Yeah, he was going nowhere, was he?
It was half-assed.
Yeah.
It was just half-assed. And it's the same story over and over again with United. Whether that's them not believing in Solskjaer's system, whether that's just Pogba not wanting to play for the club anymore. It's been widely publicised. He said a couple of weeks ago that he wants to play for Real Madrid. Whether that should happen, whether Man United should actively try and see about getting rid of him, I think that would be an avenue that they should explore because I think he is causing an issue at the club in the dressing room by being the figure that he is.
Yeah.
I think
too commercial.
Pogba
won't leave. It's too commercial, and Man United get too much revenue out of Paul Pogba. Even if he's
commercial, they're Man United.
I was going to say,
power comes with them.
If they are not selling Paul Pogba because he brings in too much revenue for that football club in shirt sales, then Manchester United are in the mire.
Yeah,
and that is the bottom line because you would never catch that happening under. And that is the issue, is that they don't have a manager who's taken control of the team and has said, I don't care about your finances, I don't care about this, I don't care about that, I won't play him. That's the other thing, you don't play him. If he's causing this much of an issue and he's being this lethargic and this lazy, the team. And that is why we're questioning Solskjaer, because he's got £40 million worth of Donny van der Beek sat on the bench, who every time he comes on looks brilliant, who can play that position, and he's refusing to play him.
This is the thing. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not got, Sam, you're going to like this, has not got that tactical know-how Frank Lampard has. And
Arteta. And Arteta. And all these managers that have come in after being players.
But the thing is, he's too nice. He's too nice. He takes all the responsibility when his players are woeful. He comes out and he goes, yeah, it's my fault. I didn't do the right system. I didn't tell him this. Grow a backbone. Tell him. Say, Pogba, you shit. De Gea, save a ball. Jesus Christ. Like, where is the defense? It's poor. It's poor. And if I was a Man United fan, I would be watching reruns of the 04, 05, 06, 07, any of the Fergie seasons, just because you've gone from that to...
Yeah, it's a big step down, isn't it? But anyway, right, next one's Wasp Brem.
Oh, they're going down, man. They're going.
Talking earlier about Sheffield United saying, "Oh, we don't want to write them off too early," and like 20 minutes later,
can we just relegate them? Can we just relegate them now? In Sunday League, you'd have that team getting beaten 11.
The whipping boys of the league. It's,
yeah. You'd have that one team where you turn up and go, right, lads, this is going to be really easy. They got beaten 14-0 last weekend.
Straight out of Slough. If you're part of futsal, you know.
If you know, straight out of Slough. No, they've got like some 4'2" lad in goal. Anywhere 3 foot either side of him is a goal. It's basically that's what West Brom are turning into this year for the Premier League. I think look, they got a really good result against us, but they did let a 3-goal lead slip.
Bottled completely, didn't they? Yeah.
Massively bottled the game. And after that, I mean, I can't think of a result when West Brom have really looked even remotely qualified to be in the Premier League.
Against Everton, maybe a month ago now, but again...
They lost.
Yeah.
West Brom are tough because Bilic is a good manager. Take nothing away from him.
You only love Bilic because he was there when Payet was...
No, shush, Bilic. He's a lovely man. No, it's not his fault. He wasn't backed in the transfer window. He got Dean Garner, but...
Yeah, and you're going to love it if they get relegated and he goes down with them.
I'm not. I love Dean Garner. I love Bilic.
Yeah.
Didn't Bilic come out in the press and have a massive go at the board because they sold a player behind his back? I don't know who, but
I'll tell you what, I heard he was raging they didn't put a word. Fuming about that when Messi stole transfer came off. I reckon they should have gone for him. He'd have been all over that.
But
you're in the Black Country. Oh, go on then. Come on.
And I like Callum Robinson, so
yeah, he's not great though. On the same vein of West Brom, Burnley. Are they going down?
They're going down, mate. The worst team, statistically, the worst team in the league. Yeah. Worse than Sheffield United. And that's hard. That's tough.
That's tough.
The only two teams in the league that have not won a game yet is Sheffield United and Burnley. The only two teams not to have won a game yet. Yeah. Sheffield United, vastly worse goal scoring record, but the same goal scoring record. Burnley have got a vastly worse defensive record, which is why they are bottom of the league. I think Burnley's bubble is Burnley's bloody Sean Dyche Brexit football bubble about to burst.
I've seen this like football conspiracy thing, and it says that like Burnley have never signed a player in the history of their club. Not even one. And this season they didn't sign anyone. I've been complaining all summer about West Ham's transfer dealings and the fact we've got no backing, and yet we've still gone out and we've signed players. I think of the likes of Ben Rama. Burnley have had nothing. They've just had the tactical nous of Sean Dyche, which I think after a while, does it get stale?
Yeah, it's yeah.
I think it's unfortunate because obviously Chelsea looked really good at the weekend, but going to Burnley used to be a tough place to go because they could grind out results, and it's just a case of like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Sean Dyche had no financial backing because there's unlike Man United.
I wouldn't compare Solskjaer and Dyche.
Burnley is
no, Dyche is a lot better than Solskjaer.
The guy's trying to sell the club and it's only valued at £250 million. That doesn't even get you an Mbappe. That's ridiculous. A whole club.
Yeah, there is a player in the world worth more than Burnley Football Club, a Premier League club. That is I think Burnley are. It's difficult because I think that James Tarkowski. There's a few players in their side that will go. I think James Tarkowski, if they go down, will go. I think Nick Pope, if they go down, will go.
Dwight
McNeil will be gone. I think that if they were to go down, I think that would be it for Burnley. I don't think they'd come back up. With the players they'd lose and the money would lose them, and especially through this period, I think that this is a year where Burnley are basically playing to stay in the Premier League in terms of for the next 5-10 years potentially.
Yeah.
They don't strike me as a club that can go down and bounce straight back up.
No, definitely not.
But no, I think
they've always relied on that defensive stability, haven't they?
Yeah,
that
and
4-4-2 really difficult to break down. But I think you see that result against Chelsea on the weekend, and the results
that was the thing. We could have won that game 4-5, 6-0. We were going through them. It was like butter. I've never actually seen Chelsea go through Burnley like. I've never seen any team really, apart from this season, go through Burnley like as easily as that. And I don't know whether that's an issue of them not signing anyone or players not being interested. It is what it is. But Burnley, looking like they're in real trouble.
Yeah.
Fulham, Sheffield United, and Burnley for me to go down this year.
It's too early to write teams off, but for the love of God, let's say West Brom, Fulham, and Burnley and Sheffield are safe. Just for the love of God.
Let's hope so. Right, okay. Let's move on to next week, or this weekend, shall I say? And
we'll do these quick fire because we are a bit pushed for time, but we'll try and get through them as quickly as possible. So, 2 games tomorrow night. Brighton, first one, Brighton against Burnley.
Oh, Christ.
2-0 Brighton.
It says box office, but I doubt it will be.
It's not going to be box office. It's going to be... it's going to be horrible. It's going to be grim. Brighton against Burnley. Hopefully, Tariq Lamptey masterclass. Brighton come out 2-0 for me.
I think it's 1-0. I don't think it's as open. I think Graham Potter's got Brighton playing some good football. And Burnley just don't look like Burnley anymore.
Yeah,
they look like that Sunday pub team that went out too heavy on the Saturday.
So you're saying the Premier League team against the pub team, and it's only going to be 1-0.
Because it's obviously it's about Burnley of previous years, and then Burnley of this season. So last year's Burnley, they'd have comfortably won this game. Because they played like a Premier League team, they had depth, and there was something about them. This year, nothing about them.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go against you. Sorry. I think it's going to be a draw. Burnley to get a point. I think 1-1. Because Brighton have been good without being amazing this season. Right, next one. Southampton versus Newcastle. This will be an interesting game, actually.
This will be an interesting game, because both of them got really good results at the weekend. I think it's going to be 1-1 to Newcastle.
That doesn't make sense.
Crack on.
That doesn't make sense.
Anyway, what do you boys think?
You said 1-1 to Newcastle.
Yeah, well, I just want to get on with it, man. I need to talk.
Southampton
1-1
win.
to Newcastle. Anyway, Southampton win.
Yeah,
Alex, don't drone on about this one.
No. I know. You should have prepared and gone beforehand, mate.
I'm gonna piss myself.
Even without Danny Ings, comfortable 3-1 Southampton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Everton United on the Saturday.
Oh,
early kickoff.
Classic Premier League game. This is a bloody Barclays.
Oh, the Barclays.
The Barclays. This is, I reckon. Do you know what? I'm gonna say 3 to Everton. Because neither of them look like they can flip and defend at the moment. So I'm going to go 4-3 to Everton and just say it's going to be
thriller.
It's going to be an absolute thriller.
Yeah, Alex?
2-1 Everton. That's if Rodriguez is back. And
just to clarify, this was the fixture last year when Roy Keane very famously said he would be throwing punches at De Gea if he played like that again. So, it's promising fireworks if last season's results are anything to go by.
I'm going to go against
Crystal Palace.
Again. Oh, okay.
Oh, no, you're going to go against us again. Sorry, I didn't realise.
United win. Bounce back.
Oh, very, very bold.
Misery compiler for Everton.
A misery compiler.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace against Leeds. Who bloody cares? Mid-table.
1-0.
Leeds.
2-0 Leeds.
Chelsea Sheffield.
5-0.
Sheffield?
Yeah, to Sheffield.
Alex agrees.
No.
Do you know what? No, in all seriousness, I think we'll win again, but I think I don't. Oh, actually, no. I think we'll keep another clean sheet. I'm going to go 3-0. Timo Werner, masterclass.
Look, I'm kind of hoping you fall apart and the bubble bursts, so I'm going to say 1-0 Sheffield United.
Jeez, mad.
Ah, nice and unbiased.
Okay. West Ham Fulham. I didn't predict that one. Chelsea win. I think 2 or 3. 3-1. West Ham, Fulham. I think that this is a difficult one for me because West Ham have been used to the past couple of weeks, especially playing against teams that are far better than them and holding a shape and hitting teams on the counter. Now the shoe's on the other foot, and I feel like this is the game I've been worried about because we really need to win this game. Like you can't win against Fulham. You can't win against Leicester, Wolves, draw against Tottenham and Man City, look good against Liverpool, and then lose to Fulham. It's it's a big game for West Ham, but I think we'll win 2-1.
I'm going to go 3-0 West Ham. I think it's going to be Fulham.
Yes,
I think it's going
boys.
to be Fulham getting dragged. I think it's going to be Fulham getting dragged through the mire. To be honest, I can't see him getting anything battered at the weekend. So,
Scott Park is not going to want to be back home.
No.
West Ham.
Mikhail Antonio is about to open up a can of whoop ass all over.
I don't think he's playing, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, whoever is playing is about to cause some bloody trouble.
For the sake of the fact that Fulham need to be in the bottom 3 for Sheffield to be safe, 4-1 West Ham.
Thank you. Love that.
Alex is not basing these result predictions off anything that could be considered unbiased. By the way, he's literally just said Fulham are going to win because Sheffield. Very. So,
Brilliant. Fulham to lose and Scott Park is not going to like going home to West Ham. He's not going to enjoy it. It's going to be a bad day at the office.
And 4-1. 4-1 is saying.
Let's hope so.
West Brom against Tottenham. Who bloody cares? Tottenham are going to win this
5-0.
5-0. And West Brom, Slaven Bilic is going to get sacked. Oh, shit. Slaven Bilic is going to get sacked. And who bloody cares? Probably Bale's probably going to score a couple goals and they're going to think they're going to win the league. But they're not going to win because it's Tottenham. Anyway, you boys?
Tottenham. Yeah, 5-0.
Yeah, I'm going 5-0 as well.
I think Bilic pulls miracles and they get a 2-0.
Oh.
Right, okay, Alex.
Leicester Wolves.
By the way, Alex, whatever you're smoking, I want some. Leicester and Wolves.
Midlands Derby.
The Black Country Derby.
Wow.
2-0 Leicester.
2-2.
Jamie Vardy and Harvey Barnes for me.
After the masterclass they put against Leeds, 3-1, 2-1 Leicester, 2-1 Leicester.
Okay, I'm going.
The next one is.
Well, let's talk about Arsenal, Aston Villa first.
Okay.
I think Arsenal will win that
comfortably.
Yeah.
I really like Arsenal. They're doing against United weekend, and I think they'll beat Aston Villa. I think. Alex said earlier that he thinks Leicester will get top 4. I think Arsenal are going to get there.
Yeah.
But no, I think Arsenal will win this one pretty comfortably. I'm going to go 4-1.
2-1 Arsenal.
Look, under Arteta, it's a step in the right direction. Javi Martinez will probably want to put in the performance of his life.
Yeah.
Not Javi Martinez.
Emiliano Martinez. Yeah.
Emiliano Martinez.
He'll probably want to put in the performance of his life to show everyone at Arsenal that he shouldn't have been sold. But 1-0 Arsenal. Aubameyang.
Next one is absolutely season defining.
Yeah.
Definitely the biggest game of the season so far, without a shadow of a doubt. And probably at this point last season you'd have said Liverpool. Yeah. Because they were running away with it. They were the best team in England by a country mile. Whereas this year, this is the first test they've had since they lost Van Dijk and Fabinho and Matip. This is going to have to be an academy centre-back playing against Gabby Jesus, Ferran Torres.
If that's true. I think Fabinho might be back. But yeah, if he isn't, then... As you say, it'll be a massive test. I mean, I think who was the fellow who played against West Ham? I think his name was
can't remember his name.
Phillips or something like that.
Something like that.
He was good, but I think against a team like City, you're gonna have to be on top form, and if they don't have Fabinho, then they will struggle. But yeah, we'll see what happens in that game. I think Liverpool are gonna win.
Yeah, I think so too. I think. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I want to hope that it will be a draw. so that we can continue the suspense of knowing that who the better team is between these two. But I think City are going to win 2-0.
Oof, big. Alex?
And I think that, yeah. By the way, if you haven't heard, this is the first game in 150 weeks that Mark Lawrenson has said Liverpool are going to lose.
I saw that stat earlier. I
Yeah.
hate Mark Lawrenson. Anyway, go on. Alex, what's your prediction?
Man City look like they've fixed their problem with that Ruben Diaz. He looks good. Liverpool, no defence at the moment, which is great because if they concede a few goals and fall out of it, we'd never have to hear from them filthy scousers ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a goal
Man City
fest.
didn't
I
look
think it-
great against West Ham, that's for sure. And, you know, they only
This is the
won
thing.
1-0 against Sheffield when they had a lot of shots. But, yeah, I don't know.
This is the thing. This game with no amazing defence. The defences are a bit. Man City's looks a bit better. Goals fest. I think you're looking at 4-2 Man City.
4-2. Jeez. And Lambo reckons a Liverpool win.
Yeah.
Boys,
2-0, yeah.
and there we leave it.
Bosh.
Usually I would do the outro and I would give you all a wonderful exeunt to this conversation with some poetic brilliance, but I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to urinate myself if I don't go now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank Alex for coming on. You've been wonderful.
It's a pleasure,
Thank you,
mate.
Jamie. As always, you've been a delight in my life and you've made the last hour of it wonderful and really enjoyable.
Isn't this nice?
Live, laugh, love, down, stay safe, and I'm going to go and transfer the rest of the outro to Jamie because I'm going to...
Bye. Okay. Thanks, Sam. Run away. Okay. Yeah, cheers, Alex. Thanks for coming on. How'd you find that?
Obviously, I was a bit nervous coming into it because you two have a real routine and a real rhythm about you. And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I think I was
Good.
subscriber number 5. Annoyingly, wasn't the first.
Aw.
But I've loved every episode.
Fantastic,
Every
mate.
episode. I think I leave a comment on every one.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, we
go
and
watch
yeah,
Sam.
if you're here right now and you're hearing this, comment down below. And yeah, let us know what you think of this week's Bosh. But yeah, thanks so much, Alex. Thanks for coming on, mate. We'll have
It
you
was
on
calling
again
me,
very soon.
I was going to say, I hope I've not done anything to merit losing a place.
No, of course not. But yeah,
okay.
we'll be doing lots more now. Month of lockdown. Here we go. So hopefully the football stays on, and we'll be first to tell you about it. But yeah, thank you very much for listening to the Off the Line podcast, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you.